All right, I'm joined this morning by our brand new Vice President of Instruction, Dr. Lee Douglas. Dr. Douglas, welcome to Cypress College.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm so excited.
I'm glad you're here, and I really hope that we have just a few minutes today to get to introduce you to the community and to the campus. I'd really like to start with your background, if you'd tell us a little bit about both your education and your professional experience.
Absolutely. Well, professionally, I've been in education a little bit over 25 years. I started at Cal State Dominguez Hills. I was actually on the student services side and did outreach and recruitment. Left there, went to El Camino College, worked there for a number of years, also on the student services side of the house. And for the last 20 years, I've been at Long Beach City College, serving in a number of different capacities. Started as a full-time faculty member for about 14 years or so, and then I moved over to administration the last 5 years, and I served as the Dean of Language Arts, Communication, and Learning Resources. I also want to mention that I've served as an adjunct faculty member for a number of years and as a classified employee as well. So I've really got to experience all aspects of being a part of the community college family, and I've loved it.
That's great. It's almost like when you hear of a family that owns a business and they bring the kids into the business, working every kind of position through it. I suspect that's really formed and really shaped you for this experience.
It absolutely has. It's really given me a great appreciation for the roles that each of the constituent groups play. I know that the importance of our classified employees and really the backbone of our institution, the adjunct faculty, many of them are the frequent flyers. I did that for a number of years. Served as a full-time faculty and faculty leader. I understand that role as well. And again, of course, as an administrator for the last 5 years. So I think I have a really good understanding of all the different roles and, more importantly, the important part that each of the roles play.
So you mentioned having been at Long Beach for 20 years. It's about the same amount of time I've been here. So I think I have some concept of just how big of a move this is, and it makes me curious. What is it specifically about Cypress College that made you say, I'm going to make such a dramatic change?
You're right. It was a dramatic change, but it actually has been a really easy move for me. I think primarily because of the reputation of Cypress College. Ranked number one community college in the state of California 2 of the last 3 years. So the reputation of the college precedes you. I will say actually precedes us now that I'm part of the family. So I really have admired the college from afar for quite a number of years. And I really appreciated the fact that you have a focus on students and a focus on student success. And that's been evident in my interactions with people that have worked here, just the information I've gathered over the years about Cypress College, and that it's a community. And that really drew me. The motto that we take this journey together, that really resonated with me because that's really how I operate. I work best when I'm in a collegial environment, in a family atmosphere, and I've gotten that feel from Cypress College from even before I joined the family to this point. It's been fantastic. The reception has been great. I have a lot of welcoming emails, and so it was a long time at my previous institution, but I'm so happy that I made the move.
So you touched upon, you had articulated a couple of goals, and you touched upon with the We Journey Together, the people part of it, the success part of it. I wanted to ask you about, you talked about dismantling the systemic structural barriers. And obviously that's a topic, especially this summer following George Floyd, that has been on everyone's mind. I'm wondering how do we spot those things? How do we go about doing that, to go from discussion to action?
Absolutely. That's a really good question, and one which I've been asked quite a bit. And I think really what it takes is it's going to take an intentional effort. I think we're going to have to work on purpose and be unapologetic about what our plans are as it relates to making sure that we have equitable outcomes for all of our students. And so I think it's going to happen in a couple of ways. I think first and foremost, we're going to have to take a look under the hood. And we're really going to have to take a look at all the things that we do here at the institution, our practices, our programs, our pedagogy, all the things that make us who we are. we're going to have to take a real long, hard look and make sure that we don't have unintended barriers before our students. There are so many things that we do as institutions that we've done just for so long without really understanding the impact that they have on students. And I would like to think that most times they're unintentional, but oftentimes the students that are affected most are the students of color, our African American students, our Latinx students, and other students that are attending our institution. And oftentimes they're the ones that are affected by our barriers that are put up, and they often have the outcomes don't reflect their abilities. And so I want to make sure that we as an institution, and I want to take the leadership under Dr. Schilling, taking the leadership to take that long, hard look under the hood. And sometimes it's going to be uncomfortable. Sometimes the look is going to show us some things about ourselves that we may not necessarily want to see, but I think it's going to be critical for us to be that institution that we desire to be, to really live up to the mission and the vision of the institution. It's going to require that. And it's going to take all of us doing it together.
I liken it a little bit to getting up and looking in the mirror before you brush your teeth, comb your hair, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
That yes, it'll be uncomfortable, but it's not necessarily that we're looking for fault. We're looking for fix. Is that a fair assessment?
That's exactly right. We're absolutely not looking to place blame or look where there may be fault, but we're really looking for the best interest of our students. I guess that's the best way to say it. Looking at what's going to be best for our students, how we can best serve our students, and it will take us require us to take a long, hard look at where we are, what we've done historically, and more importantly, what we can do in the future to help our students succeed at the highest level.
Sounds a lot like Guided Pathways, to be honest.
It has Guided Pathways very much has a really strong impact on student success. Yeah. A strong advocate of that.
Yeah. I'm going to switch gears
Sure.
a little bit. Obviously, with the career history you've laid out, you strongly believe in the community college mission, but you had a period at Pepperdine University, and
yes.
I mean, vastly different institution than community colleges. I'm wondering a couple of things. One, how that influenced you, and two, what maybe you draw from that experience that you bring back to community colleges.
Sure. That experience influenced me greatly. As a matter of fact, I attended Pepperdine University, so I continued to work there after I graduated from the institution. But I learned a couple of valuable things during my time there. It's a great place, wonderful institution. But one of the things that I found during my time there is the majority of their students were going to succeed regardless. Their paths were pretty well set. Not all of them, but for the most part, their paths were pretty well set. And I know the difference, one of the main differences at the community college is that what we have to offer and the programs and the services that we provide our students are critical. And I'm a strong advocate for making sure that the students get what they need, and that we make sure that we tailor what the students need to their individual needs. And that wasn't always the case at Pepperdine. Loved the institution, but it was really a one-size-fits-all in many respects. And also that it's really a sink or swim. And if you don't have the tools to succeed, then it's kind of like, well, we'll have to replace you with another student, seat fillers, so to speak. But at the community college, and my experience has been that we have such an obligation to serve our students, to make sure that we provide them exactly what they need to succeed, and that we're here together on this journey.
Great, thank you. Maybe it wasn't so much switching gears, maybe it really dovetailed with the previous question. I wanted to close our time allowing people to get to know you a bit as an individual. So if you would share with me some of your passions outside of higher education.
I am a diehard sports fan. I will start with that. I'm going to start with the Lakers. I love the Dodgers. So I love all sports. I've participated in sports most of my life, or coached in various aspects of my life. Always had my sons involved in sports. So that's a huge part of my life, is athletics, either watching or participating. Very involved with my family. I've got a wonderful wife, Greta. I've got 3 wonderful sons, Christian, Robert, and Brandon. And I'm really proud to say I've got a brand new granddaughter, Paris Amari Douglas, who has absolutely stolen my heart. So I spend a lot of time with my family. I'm very involved with my church and with community outreach. My time is well spent, but I'm really dedicated to Cypress College and doing the job that I've been tasked to do here, and I really look forward to working with all the wonderful people here at Cypress College. We take this journey together, and I'm really happy to be here.
I'm happy you're here. I feel like someone might be watching this, 5 years from now, 10 years from now. So, my natural instinct is to reach over and shake your hand. Obviously, we're still in the pandemic, if anyone's wondering why we're sitting so far apart. And to those of you in the future, 2025, 2030, who may be watching this, the Lakers are in the playoffs, the Dodgers are in the playoffs. We are in pandemic right now. I appreciate you taking the time to come to campus to spend this time with us in this remote environment. So thank you, and thanks for the opportunity to introduce you.
Thank you. It's been my pleasure. And if I can just add one more thing, I do understand that during this time, it's a little difficult to build personal relationships and those close connections. But I want you to know that I'm committed to getting to know as many of you as I can, to learn your stories, have you learn my story, so that we can grow even closer. So it's a challenging time, but I also know that we have this opportunity to get to know one another and to work on behalf of our students. So I look forward to meeting you.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that, and thank you for joining us.